who benefits the most from the Black Friday deals?
To be honest, is the consumer. The consumer
How
benefits.
So? They get to buy more?
Because we have, not just that they get to buy more, they get to buy precisely what they want to buy. Because on Jumia, what we started to do since last year was to actually ask consumers, what do you want to buy during Black Friday? So we have a lot of focus groups, we have a lot of surveys, and we say, what do you want to buy? And interestingly, the kind of things that people want to buy are sewing machines, for example. They want to buy noodles, they want to buy diapers, these kinds of things that are really close to what they want to achieve. Either they're starting a new business or for their family and so on. So it's digressed away from just this classic, big screen TV set, refrigerator,
Bonanza,
exactly, bonanza kind of things. So from that perspective, what we then do is we go back and we then start saying, okay, how do we get the best deals for these kinds of items that customers want? And from that perspective, you see that we tend to get, whatever best prices we can from the vendors for the customers, so they get a good deal.
So you look for what they want and then try to make it available to them. Now let's try to marry the opportunities in quote that the Black Friday deals offer with the current economic realities. How would you assess response by consumers given lesser or lower purchasing powers?
The best way to assess that is actually to see the difference between last year and this year. We have 67% more new customers this year, 99% of returning customers this year. So it's about, online is about relevance. So it's about what does the customer really want, and can the customer find it with the right spec and the right price? If they can find it online, they will buy it. So in the context of the economic downturn and so on, what customers are doing is they're buying just precisely what they want. People buy the basic things that they really want online as well. So I know the TV sets, the PS4s, the iPhone X, they drive a lot of traffic, they drive a lot of attention and talk. But that's really for customers who want that as well. But
so your website must be really blazing hot right now.
It's with so many other things. So today, for example, there are 5 million items that are available for this Black Friday. So it cannot be all TVs and refrigerators. There are many other kinds of items that customers can buy.
Globally, it's an opportunity window for consumers. Like you said earlier, they are the ones who get to benefit the more, even though the providers of the services also get to gain some advantage. But then, tell me frankly, would businesses ever sell below their cost prices? Because I've been hearing 90% off. You heard our East Africa correspondent say 65%, 75%. Would businesses, say in the interest of the consumers, for the sake of one day, sell actually below the cost prices?
The answer is a resounding yes.
Why?
Because the purpose of Black Friday is not necessarily for profit. Black Friday is about customer engagement, especially on online platforms like Jumia and even some of the vendors who work with us. It's about customer engagement. It's about acquiring new customers. So if I'm a customer who's never used your brand before, and I buy it for the first time, I buy it at 50% off, which clearly is below your cost price. That's fine, but you have a limited number of items at that price that you have available.
Limited items?
Limited number of items, yes. So you then lock me in because I have experienced that brand, and if I've experienced that brand and I'm happy with the brand, then next time I go to the shop, I'll buy it at regular price. So it's not about profit, it's about customer engagement.
So there is actually a cap, a lead placed on how much orders or how many orders of a particular item that consumers can go for.
Of course.
So it's not like buy the shop out, buy the...
No. You have so many...
Run the stores down.
No. Brands have specific number of items per SKU, per product that they have available at different prices.
Now, I'll take you up on an interesting, controversial cultural perspective to Black Friday.
Yes.
Now, there are e-consumer analysts who say that Black Friday is an insult, quote unquote, to Nigeria and Africa because it promotes, first of all, consumerism fever drive without, that's the second one, localizing the contexts to fit the culture. That kind of struck a chord in my mind, and I thought to ask you, it's an importation of culture, no doubt, the Black Friday. But what's missing, if anything is at all, from your view?
My perspective on that is when people talk culture, you assume that the culture you have is only 10 years old or 20 years old. Culture evolves. The culture we call Nigerian culture may have been culture from other parts of the world that we have sort of integrated into our own environment, and then we call it now our culture. So culture keeps changing. When we launched in 2014, Jumia was the first company to launch Jumia Black Friday in Nigeria in 2014. No one believed it was going to work. Everyone said, oh, no, but it's a foreign culture. No one is interested in it. But today, we have both online platforms, like you mentioned, also bricks and mortar platforms also doing Black Friday. It's the same way. By next year, maybe it will evolve into something else that's more interesting, as long as it's relevant to the consumer. That's what matters. It's not a question of whether it came from, Saudi Arabia, it came from India.
Culture is imported and exported across the world.
Exactly, yeah.
So Jumia does talk about SMEs having a place in its Black Friday culture.
Yeah.
Help me understand exactly how that works.
How it works is because today you have about 12,000 vendors on our platform. Okay, out of those 12,000 vendors, maybe just 10% of them are big brands or big vendors and so on. Most of them are just small, medium-scale businesses who have, just maybe 50 SKUs max or 15 SKUs, 15 products to sell on the platform. And with Black Friday, and because we also spend a lot of time coaching them on different things like making sure they ship their items on time so their seller score is very high. So when a consumer gets used to a vendor in terms of, I've ordered something before and I did it during Black Friday, I can see his seller score was 4.3, 4.5, the item got delivered on time, all those kinds of things. Yes, the customer returns. So because what you really want is a returning customer. It's not just for the show and the entertainment. It's fun, but at the end of the day, it's really about customer loyalty and customer retention. And that's what we work on.
So it's a month-long activity, but it's a one-day special deal offer for today.
No, it's actually for us, it's been special deals all the way from November 2nd to November 30th. We know that traditionally the Black Friday was this Friday. Okay, so we still have deals on this Friday, but our deals started all the way from November 2nd. Even for us, logistically, it's much better because to ship millions of items just from one day sales is a bit of a challenge in our own environment. So spreading it over 1 month is much more accommodating for us as well.
Thank you very much for your time and thoughts on the show.
You're welcome.